Time's running out. Rosh Hashanah is just about here. And the question is, how do we ready ourselves in these last few days of the year as we approach Rosh Hashanah? The Torah tells us in Parshas Netzavim, Ki ha-mitzvah zos asher anochim mitzavecha hayom, the commandment that I'm giving to you today, Lo nifleisim mimcha v'lo rechoka hi. It's not far away. Lo b'shamayim hi, it's not in the sky. Lo me'ever layam. Rather, ki karov eilecha adavar ma'od. It's close to you. B'ficha b'lvavcha la'asoso. It's in your mouth, it's in your heart to be able to do it. What's the Torah referring to? What is it that's so close to us? Rashi explains that it refers to the Torah in its broadest sense. All of the mitzvos, they're close to us. They're there for us to grab. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't leave them so far away from us. They're available for the taking. The Ramban, however, comments that it's referring to the mitzvah of tshuva. It's referring to one specific mitzvah. That is our mitzvah right now of returning to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Netzavim in his commentary on Chumash suggests that it's referring to the mitzvah of limud HaTorah as well as the mitzvah of tshuva. What's the path to tshuva? It's through our learning. It's through limud HaTorah. Beficha, using our voice. Prayer is the key component in calling and connecting to Hashem. That's the path. That is what is essential. I want to suggest that our preparations, as we're going to be spending in Mitzvah Hashem a lot of time praying, davening in shul, that our preparations are not just looking at the tefillos, which is important, understanding the words, understanding the concepts, understanding what it is that we're asking for and how we're asking for it. But there's another component that I think is much more fundamental. Because the Gemara Rosh Hashanah Daf Zayin tells us that according to the Rabbanan, the reason that we don't use the keren shel para, the horn of a cow, for the tkiyos, is because we have a principle of ein kategor na'asa senegar. The prosecutor cannot serve as the defender. The shofar evokes the imagery of the golden calf of the Egel Hazav. It's inappropriate to flaunt that sin in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu at a time that we're asking for His rachamim. The Beis Halevi in a drush expounds on this idea, and he suggests that even in the realm of tefillah, we have a rule of ein kategor na'asa senegar. He explains that the Mishnah in Brachos tells us that when we daven, we are supposed to face ourselves towards the Kodesh HaKadoshim. That's supposed to be Shechav in Libo. Why? Because our tefillas go up via the Kodesh HaKadoshim to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How can a prayer uttered from the same mouth that has spoken Lashon Hara or other disgusting things be allowed into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, which is the conduit through which it gets up to the Ribono Shel? How powerful and essential is our speech? The Gra wrote in a letter to his family that the most powerful factor in determining a person's olam haba is proper speech, is using our mouths in the right way. There's a frightening comment in the Zohar on the pasuk al Pishnaim Edom Yakum Davar. Testimony can only be accepted from two witnesses. And the Satan has a problem because the Satan comes in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he wants to prosecute the Jews as a single witness. But you need two. In order for God to act, in order for him to listen, he needs to bring along somebody else. So what does he do? So let's give a mashal. The Satan is trying to prosecute Reuven for sinas chinam and creating machlokas. But he has a problem because he only has one witness. He can't come on his own. So he looks around and eventually ends up at Binyamin's Shabbos table. And he suddenly perks up and he hears Binyamin tell his wife, I can't believe you missed shul this morning. You know what happened? Someone sat down in Reuven's seat, and when he came back, he tapped the fellow, asked him to get up, and the man looked at him and said no, and a brawl broke out in shul. And suddenly the Satan's all excited and he runs to Hashem, he says, look, I have a second witness. Binyamin also testifies that Reuven is a Baal Machlokas, is guilty of sinas chinam. And Hashem accepts the Satan's claims. The one who spoke Lashon Hara has actually prosecuted his friend, his fellow Jew. It wasn't just innocent talk around the Shabbos table. And the Zohar doesn't stop there. The Satan says to Hashem, since Binyamin prosecuted his friend, can we, Mida Keneged Mida, examine Binyamin's records and prosecute him as well? And Hashem allows it. It's the power of what we say. Why is speech so powerful? Because it's uniquely what makes us human. We're the nefesh chai, the ruach memalla. We have the koach of dibur. And that's, I think, One of the preparations that we need to do for Rosh Hashanah is how do we use our mouth? This mouth is going to have tefillos, the most beautiful, exquisite tefillos coming out of it. But is the mouth ro'eh? Are the tefillos appropriate to be coming out of this mouth to go to the Kodesh HaKadoshim? So as we prepare for Rosh Hashanah, so it's in our mouths and our hearts. We have to do tshuva, we have to come to Kadosh Baruch Hu, but we have to be careful how we talk to the people, what we say, the words that come out. And hopefully our mouths become kelim, become vessels through which our tefillos go via the Kodesh HaKadoshim up to Kadosh Baruch Hu, and He grants us all our heart's desires for a kasiva v'chasima tova.